Well, if each one of us had a wish in our lifetime, I think most of us would wish for life forever and a happy, healthy life. However, that's not possible today. And I'm going to take you to a company that's inventing medicine that can cure non-curable and degenerative diseases. So stick around with me as I take you on my journey with tomorrow's world.
We started as a group of engineers who were at NASA.
And we saw there was a potential to do something beyond what the market had available today.
We thought this is just a fantastic area where we could apply this philosophy into.
We want to give information and awareness to people, to government.
If you have given chance that you can do something, I think you cannot stop yourself.
Take any idea that you have to the next level.
I'm extremely excited to talk to Dr. Anand. Welcome to Tomorrow's World. Tell me first, where do we stand in terms of medical treatment?
In very brief, if I can describe you what is the real status, like if we divide all the categories of human diseases a human may face in entire life, there is 3 categories. First category is when a human gets infection or some disease because of some kind of infection.
Like bacteria or virus.
Bacteria, virus, or maybe microorganism.
Correct.
So at the present time, we have extraordinary antibiotics. 95% time you can kill the bacteria and person is treated. Same in the case of microorganism like malaria or several kind of amoebic problems. We have antimicrobials where you give the patient and the patient is treated. No more microbial problems. Third category is viruses. That is also outside infection. But those infection like Zika, HIV, you name a lot of viruses. We do not have any treatment today for the virus, though it is a foreign infection. So first category, if you take 33%, then remove virus, only 20% diseases we can treat. Second category comes with the trauma. Like we have accident or bone broken or some kind of surgery, where surgery can remove the disease. And today it is wonderful surgery, doctors are good, equipments are extraordinary. Rest 70% diseases happens just no foreign infection, no trauma, just some kind of malfunction of the body. And these diseases comes either degeneration of the organs or over-functional of the organ.
Well, that sounds like an alarming percentage of diseases that has no cure today and no treatment.
No
It's
treatment.
huge.
So you see, this is all the degeneration of the organs. When we talk about the degeneration of the organs, the only solution may be if we may develop some kind of regenerative medicine, which may regenerate all these organs which are losing function or damaged because of any reason.
Now, give me a little bit history of when did someone start thinking about regeneration?
And this was the question came to my mind also 16 years back. I was also thinking how to really regenerate the organs. So you see the wall lizard, when you cut the tail of a wall lizard, it regenerates automatically. So seeing that, it means there is something in the biological system which regenerates the degenerative organs.
Yeah, obviously, because if I cut myself, the skin joins, so it has regenerated.
My God. Wonderful, wonderful, exactly, exactly. It means there is some cells, and same as skin, okay? But if you cut the bigger portion of the skin or there is a big damage, you have to really manage a lot, okay? And even if you manage, somehow it will be repaired, but you will see the scar. So it means there in our body also, there is something. And that is the master cell of the body, which makes whole body. And that is what is the stem cell. But in our body, that when we become adult, that stem cell is not in much number.
Then how do you come to the regeneration of every cell through the stem cell that you're talking about?
We have the master cell, which makes each and every single organ of the body. When the organs or any organ damage in our body, that master cell goes and try to repair it. But if the damage is big, that master cell is not big in number. So what we thought that can we take out this master cell in the lab? Can we make billions of these cells in the lab? And what happens if we inject back in the body? Is that going to repair that damage?
So if I understand it correctly, you're taking the stem cell from the body of the person and you're multiplying it outside the body to make it more effective and faster
Yes.
in regeneration.
Yes.
Because the body is not capable to regenerate it as fast as you could do it in a lab.
Exactly, exactly. So what we do, we take out those master cells and I develop the technique. So I can clone these master cells or I can proliferate, make similar kind of cells in the lab, and then I can inject in the body. So suppose liver is damaged or heart is damaged, brain is damaged, kidney is damaged, or any organ is going under degeneration or lung is having some problem. So we inject that master cells goes there and tries to repair it. So that is what the real answer of these kind of malfunction. Even now we are under the process to in fact make the organs outside in the lab, in the laboratory condition. Suppose somebody's ear is gone. We can develop whole ear in the lab. Suppose nose, we can develop all nose. Even the liver cells, okay, we can regenerate all the liver cells outside of the body and transplant those liver cells to repair a damaged liver. Because today, if the liver is damaged, only one option is the liver transplant, and that's very complex option.
So cosmetic, non-cosmetic, organs of the body, any part of the body can be regenerated. That's the interesting part.
I am trying, and
I
not
mean,
only I am
there's so
trying.
much hope to having, diseases that we thought were not curable, to find a cure or even have a hope towards that. That's incredible.
So a lot of scientists, including me, are working very hard to develop the cure of these kind of diseases also. At this time point, we can manage using the stem cell, but we really want to cure it.
So absolutely, if I can add a drop to this whole thing, I'd love to do it and inspire the world to actually look at this and find solutions to people's happiness and life, that they don't have to really die at an early age or, create so much trauma, stress to the whole family. I mean, that would be fabulous to achieve, and I'm sure we are all on the right path, and we thank you for contributing your big portion to it. Well, now talking to Devin Patel, who is the CEO, co-founder, and the business development head with GeoStar. Now, Dev, you're wearing a lot of hats. Pick one and tell me how you got started.
Well, I'll pick CEO, who's going to come first and who's going to clean up all the mess and go home last. So that's what I do.
That's a typical CEO of a startup.
That's right.
When did this get started?
We started, I would say, 16 years ago, but GeoStar, which is a global institute of stem cell therapy and research, started in 2008, so about 8 years ago. So we won't call it a startup, but we're still, every day we would like to call ourselves startup because that's where the excitement is.
Well, you said 16 years. I got a little bit confused because you didn't look 16 yourself, and now the company is 16 years old. Now walk me through that journey.
It started at a very spiritual juncture. Dr. Anand, our chairman and co-founder, the stem cell scientist and the leading stem cell scientist in the United States, we met in the temple.
Wow.
And in a temple, he basically told me one day that, hey, Devin, I'm working on this science, which is very new, very unknown. I don't know where it's going to go, but I'm getting this vibrations here that I should talk to you and see if what you can do with it. So that's how it started.
It's almost like mixing religion with science.
No,
I mean, that's a very difficult combination.
I would call it a divine intervention in its literal sense in our temple.
Okay. And then what happened after that?
And basically, journey started from there because his vision is basically this stem cell science is the most advanced, most expensive, and most elite science of our age. And he said he wants to make it available to the masses. So our vision is very simple. It's the most advanced and elite and expensive science. We wanted to make it available to the masses, which is the uphill task. But that's what we decided to do, and that's what we are doing. And the way it became, the true vision came in reality when we spoke to our Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi ji, and basically he said, in Gujarat at that time, there are so many tribal people who are suffering from sickle cell anemia. And he said, you guys are the one who are working in this very advanced field of stem cell. Can you help? And that's how the whole journey started. And that was the music to my ears that make it available to the masses, because he said, I have thousands and thousands of people. So fast forwarding so many years now we're building world's largest stem cell treatment hospital
So
in
wait a
Gujarat.
minute. You found this most complex medicine, which is the most expensive.
Or a science.
And science. And you wanted to make it available to the poorest people and the masses. I mean, that is a very tall ambition.
We basically started working and talking to the world governments to help them develop stem cell research programs, stem cell transplant programs, stem cell policies for their countries, because it's a new science. And our vision to work with the governments allows us to make it available to the masses.
But I was curious to find out, in your business journey, was there any obstacle? that you
There are
had to
many obstacles, not just one obstacles. First, how do you finance it? Then how do you make it available to the masses? Like, for example, in India, just simple example, all these tribal people that we are trying to work with in Surat or Gujarat area, you know, they live in a very remote areas. First of all, how do you access them? And how do you explain them this very advanced science that's going to help or could help? They may say, this is a voodoo science, this is a, something that you're doing, we don't know. So first process is to offer education. We have to work with the local people. It's a grassroots efforts to educate them and say, hey, please come to this place where you can get an information. Once that's done, then it's easier for them to come to the receiving mode where they said, okay, maybe we should try, maybe we should wanted to know about it, or we should maybe go for it.
Let me ask you this. When you approach someone that, hey, you need this treatment, and it is some unknown, like if you come to me and say, hey, Ina, you could do stem cell, I don't even know what that means. To someone like that, what are the questions that you have gotten from them before they get into this treatment?
It's very simple, very basic, and usually they're all same. Because first of all, your fear of unknown, and within that fear of unknown, you're already suffering, and you tried everything that's available on this earth. So now you're desperate, like, what am I going to do? Now you're going to trying to figure out something that is new on top of it. So your first question is, am I going to get any negative effect or any side effect? That's the first question. The beauty of stem cell is your own cell, and their job is to regenerate. So that question is out. There's enough research done that where we don't see any side effects. So then that put them to ease. That's the first question. Then, is it going to help me? Or if it's going to help me, how much can it help? So that is the second question. So, and when you're desperate, you're looking for answer, and you wanted to hear what you want to hear. But we wanted to give people a correct hope. We don't want to give them a wrong hope or incorrect hope or a high hope. So we have to bring their expectation down and say, hey, listen, this is a process. It's a 70 or 50 years worth of damage. We're going to try to reverse it, which will take time, which will take a lot of commitment from your end, our end, to work together and see how first process is how we arrest the progression of the disease. So try to hold it back, first hold it, and then from there start going backward. So it's a monumental task. But once you have no other choice, and we explain them that you tried everything, you have no other choice left, plus there is no side effects, so nothing wrong in trying that. Then people kind of fall into this receiving mode and then say, okay, that makes sense.
Well, giving life and hope to someone who's lost it all could be extremely gratifying.
Oh, it's an amazing...
walk me through a process
I tell you amazing
like
story, amazing story. This electrical worker, 25, 30-year-old young man, works on an electrical pole who makes $500 a month, okay? He fell off from the electrical pole 30 feet high. He broke his spine in 2 pieces. He tried physical therapy, this and that, and nothing worked. So we started working with him, and we did couple transplant over a couple months. And after first transplant, he had a bladder control. He can feel some sensation in his bladder. so that he can see that I need to go to bathroom. Then slowly, the bowel control. Then slowly, some sensation in his leg. Then he can walk a little bit with the walker. And then 6-7 months later, the beautiful thing he said that, hey, look, I can now go on my knees to the bathroom. I can eat my food on my own hand. So I was so excited, because when we do something like that, I'm excited to do more.
Sid, you've been involved with the company a few years now. What got you attracted to this?
So there's a personal story to it. I was engaged to my fiancée, who had a lot of, significant hearing loss, and there was no medical cure for her. So the only way out was to look for alternatives. And while I was doing my MBA at UCLA, I happened to cross paths with Dr. Anand Srivastava, who was a visiting professor there. And we started talking around that time, and that got me more interested in stem cell research. And I found that if there is one way I can cure her, it's through stem cell research.
So since you joined them, what are some of the developments that happened?
The fortunate thing about our company is we have a fabulous board comprising of all the leading scientists and medical practitioners from the world, due to which we are able to invent things which can change the face of different areas that are wide spaces around stem cells. For example, one of them is what we call the universal donor blood, which we will develop from stem cells.
So you're able to give the same blood to all kinds of people with all different types of blood. This seems like a breakthrough.
Exactly. And in various situations, including trauma, there are so many people who die in car accidents. That's why you are seeing lots of inventions in automation that we are seeing out of Silicon Valley. Just like they are doing it in technology, we are doing it on the medical side. In addition, it has huge defense implications in war situations, in terrorism situations, where you have to bring quick remedies for patients. This kind of technology can save a lot of lives.
That sounds like fabulous to me. Tell me the future of this.
So if you look at the future of this project, it's very promising. In fact, currently itself, the world needs 160 million units of blood a year, while we are only able to provide 80 million units of blood. So there's a shortage of 80 million units of blood, which is close to like more than $50 billion worth a year of potential commercial potential. In addition, if you look at the human population secular trend, which is human population is aging. As people age, the requirement of blood increases because of various diseases they suffer from. So there is huge potential when it comes to commercial value. And in terms of human health value also, there is huge potential, simply because there are so many lives that we are not able to save currently, simply because of the fractured supply chain that we have, which we are able to solve with this if we go commercial with this. And that is what we have been trying to do. We have been fortunate to be able to convince the Ministry of Science and Technology in India, which has funded us to take this project commercial by recognizing the value this brings to human life.
Well, more than this blood, universal blood, what else have you worked on with the company that has, grown in terms of volume as well as accessibility and reaching the rest of the world?
So, as Dr. Anand was talking about the potential of stem cells across the spectrum in degenerative diseases as well as at the regenerative side. So, when you talk of cancer, currently there are various ways to treat cancer, including chemotherapy, radiation therapy, or cytotoxic drugs. All of them are targeting the tumors which exist. But if we look at the documented research data, a 12-year study was done, and the results of it were published in the Journal of Clinical Oncology, which is a very reputed journal. 97% of the time, chemotherapy fails, but it still is, because there is no other alternative, it's still being used. But the failure rate is so high, the impact on lifestyle is so high that it's worthless. So what we have been trying to do using our background and knowledge is we have been working on developing a protocol using what we call cellular immunotherapy, what we do is we again use your natural body's potential to treat cancer. So how do we do that? We take a biopsy of the tumor and then take your blood cells, and from the blood cells we extract the T cells, which are your immune cells. We then feed those immune cells with those tumor cells and train them or allow them to create a memory about these cells, and then we multiply them and inject that in your body. And then these immune cells, which are your own immune cells, who have been programmed to fight these tumor cells, will go and kill all the tumor cells. Not only will they kill these tumor cells, but they will also, going forward, kill any potential metastasis causing tumor cells. So this is actually putting the personal in personalized medicine that has become the fad these days to talk about, that this is true personalized medicine that we are actually bringing to the world.
That sounds fascinating to me, that you're able to accomplish all of that. I'm so excited to find out what this holds in the coming years. Well, Geostar is definitely changing the dynamics of medicine around the world. We'll wait and see how people from remote corners can access this and get treated for a better life. I'm sure you loved our episode today. If you want more information, you can always write to the company to find out how you can get help from them. We'll see you again in tomorrow's world next week. Till then, take care of yourself.